Hi, everybody. My name is Nanika Edwards. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago in the Southern Caribbean, and I'm a lady of many hats. If you've been following this series, or if you follow the videos on my channel, you would know that I'm a poet, I'm an artist, author, philosopher, definitely philosopher, I would add in there. Many different things. And that's partly why I'm doing this series because, for me, I'm in my own head. So all of this is like it's my it's my everyday normal. Like it's not strange to me. What goes on in my head is not strange to me because that's all I know. And also, I don't spend time comparing myself with other people. So it's always a shock to my system, or at least it used to be not too long ago, a shock to my system when people would respond to me as if I was an oddity, and an oddity to keep at arm's length. So, or an oddity that produced such feelings of insecurity or um, negativity or um, discomfort that you may be curious and you may want to know a bit more about me, but you want to make sure you do it from a safe distance, because apparently being different is also means being dangerous for a lot of people, which is an unfortunate way to think, because we can all learn so much from each other. God has given something to everybody. We all have a piece of some kind of pie. And you could think of that pie as being sectioned according to ingredients. And even if one person seems to have a bigger slice of the pie, that slice may not have the ingredients that some of the smaller slices may have. And if you want to experience the totality, the gustative, is that the word? The Sometimes I get my languages mixed up, but if you want to experience the gustatory, I'm not too sure what the word is, but if you want to if you want to savor the panoramic the palatable, the what to call it, the panorama palette of that dish, then everybody has to share with everybody, right? I don't think I have it all. In fact, I love that I don't have it all. I would not want to have it all because in my mind, in my thinking, it's so much more interesting to me when I meet somebody who can do something that I cannot do, because then I'm left with the joy of wondering how they do it. I'm left with that magical mood of wow, that the joy of wonder, the joy of wow, the wonder of wow. I love that. So I'm glad that I don't have it all. I'm glad that I don't know everything. I am glad that I am not God. I'm glad that I'm not omniscient. And I think sometimes that's where people's discomfort is coming from. A lot of people may think that because I know a lot or I can do a lot, that I know everything. I really don't know everything. As I've heard, as conventional wisdom puts it, the more you know, the more you know you don't know. The more you're convinced you don't know. And as I've said in one of my own parables, even if, and you can't, right? But even if you have enough capacity to swallow the whole ocean on planet Earth, after that you have a whole ocean of stars out in the endless galaxies to swallow. If you want to know everything, I mean, nobody can know everything. Nobody except for God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So I think sometimes where people's discomfort is coming from is they think I know everything, and if they don't know everything, something's wrong with them. It really goes back to the garden, please, and the fall of man, and the fact that man told himself he wanted to be not just like God, but God. They weren't, the fall of man is rooted in the same rebellion that led Satan to say that he wanted to topple God from his throne. It's the same thing. And so I think the discomfort that people feel is they may go through life convinced that they are some kind of God. They are a God unto themselves. And then, my word, they meet somebody else who more, in their mind, is more God than them. And it is so dystopian. It's such a dystopian experience on a personal level, you know. I guess that's what it's like. It's kind of surreal. It's like, wait a minute, you mean to say I'm not God? But guess what? Reality check, people. None of us is God. None of us is God. Please get that out of your head and out of your heart. And then you may not have the discomfort that you feel when you interact with somebody like me, you know. And then also the other thing is why it's kind of disconcerting, I think, is because there was something else I was going to say. Yeah, there's the gosh, I'm not God. And then there is the, oh, there was something else I was going to say. It's on two levels, you know, that discomfort. It's I'm not God. And it's also I'm not God. And then it becomes I am not enough. And then it becomes I cannot compete. You know, it's all of those things going on with people. And so I decided to do these videos to, you know, to address some of those things and hopefully to let people know I'm human. I'm human and I'm approachable. And maybe we can learn a thing or two from each other. I'll share what I know here in this video. And you can feel free to share your comments and your opinions, your thoughts, your experiences in the comment section. Feel free. I look forward to reading your respectful feedback. So in this video, what I would like to share is how I've bent the rule of how I see myself when I don't feel like my most beautiful self physically, you know, when I don't like what I see in the mirror. How do I deal with that? Because I know that's a struggle for a lot of people. I know especially for women, but I don't think men are unfamiliar with this terrain either, you know. So for me, if I look in the mirror and I say, shucks, I'm seeing, you know, some things there that I think need some dealing with. Typically what I would do is I say, you know what? Somebody out there is going to like me just the way that I am. That's the only person I need to please, really. And if they're happy with me, then I'm cool. The other thing I say is, well, I mean, I could do something about it. I could exercise. I could watch my diet, blah, blah, blah. I could do something about it. And then also I say, you know what? You see me, I have bigger things to think about right now. I have serious problems to deal with, serious challenges that I need to process and work through. And this is like a very superficial distraction. It doesn't matter to me. And besides which, you know, there are things I like about myself. You know, I would kind of evaluate myself, appraise myself from head to toe. And I would go through things that I like. But here's one thing that I do that might be maybe not what the average person would do. I thank God. I say, God, I thank you for my this. I thank you for my that. I thank you for the things I like about myself. And I would specifically identify and name the physical attributes that I appreciate about myself, you know. And the things that I don't like, I'd be like, you know, God, this little tummy gotta go. In fact, it's not a little tummy. It's more than a little tummy. And I'd be like, okay, God, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. You know, I just have honest conversations with God because, I mean, even if I was, well, let's put it like this. God could look at me with x-ray vision, even if I was fully clothed. He knows what I look like and he knows what I want to look like. And so, you know, I can have real conversations with him without belittling myself. Like, I don't belittle myself. But a lot of us, the inner conversations that we have with ourselves are highly critical for whatever reason. And you can even have a conversation with yourself about why the conversations you have with yourself are so hyper critical, so hyper criticizing, you know. But I tend not to have those conversations with myself. I got a little knock knee. I like my knock knees. And because I have calves that are pretty well built, most people, I think, may not realize that I'm knock-kneed. But I am knock-kneed. When I was skinnier, and there was a time when I was skinny, You could literally see my knock knees, but because my legs got built out and a little more muscular, my legs are actually now nicely shaped. Maybe because of the knock knees, I don't know, but I have pretty nice legs. But also, but to keep things real, there was a season in my life not that long ago. I would say about maybe around maybe somewhere in between 2008 all the way up to about maybe 2014 or so. I put on a lot of weight for different reasons, I guess. And I have to say, I don't think what I saw in the mirror was something I would have liked to have seen. But you know what? To be honest, I'll be honest with you. I was maybe what people would have considered ugly, but I really couldn't be bothered. Honestly, I couldn't be bothered because I just felt, I got other fish to tackle. I have other fish to fry. Bigger than what I'm looking at in the mirror. And so yeah, but my thinking was somebody's gonna like me. And to be honest, I think even then when I felt I wasn't at my best and so on, it's interesting. I think there actually were people who did like me. So maybe the way I saw myself may not have been totally accurate. There may have been some body dysmorphia in there or something. Is it dysphoria or dysmorphia? It's dysmorphia, I think. There may have been some delusional disfiguring of myself that may not have been absolutely accurate. I know I didn't look my best, but like I said, I just told myself, I don't know, it didn't bother me. Maybe because I don't know God. Maybe I don't know. I don't know people. Maybe it's because I'm partially on the spectrum. It could be that, I don't know. These things just don't matter to me. I could wear the same clothes over and over and over and just not be bothered. Honestly, that's me. I mean, yes, you may say, shucks, I really need to get some new clothes or something. But, if I wear the same clothes over and over, I am totally unbothered. I can probably, but totally unbothered. And my identity is rooted in my relationship with God. And God has never, ever snickered at me. I've had instances where I've walked into situations where people take one look at me and then they just snicker. I've been in situations where people talk behind me about my back and say, I think some really very degrading things about me. I know it's happened. God has a way of getting intel back to you sometimes, But my identity is rooted. And by the way, some of those people weren't even particularly hot stuff themselves, I don't know, men out there, you can be kind of cruel. You can be kind of cruel sometimes. Women were not made for your visual entertainment primarily. No. So please stop treating us like if we're not eye candy and we're not sweet enough for your visual palate, that you can use your mouth to tear us down however you feel like. That's not a good thing to do, So just speaking to my brothers there. But anyway, the way I deal with my body image is by rooting my confidence in God. Here's my modus operandi. If God doesn't tell me something that's cutting and critical about myself, I will not do the same thing to myself. If God is not hypercritical of me, I'm not going to be hypercritical of myself. And for the most part, God is He's kind. His words are kind. His words are life-giving. His words water my soul. His words endorse me. His words are appreciative. His words about me are appreciative most of the times, unless he's correcting me about something. And even then, he tends to be gentle or a little humorous, So, so that's it. If you want to feel good about yourself, get close to the one who thinks only good things about you, who only wishes you well. If you have to cut people out of your life or out of your conversations who only pour toxic feelings, toxic thoughts into how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself. I'm going to say toxic. I don't mean somebody's correcting you and it makes you feel bad, so you say, oh, that's toxic. No, if somebody out of love is correcting you and they're doing it in a healthy way, that is not toxic. But if people are out to pull you down, like, I don't know, I have people, they have an issue with the length of my hair. Sometimes people assume that I am on the other side, that I'm into alternative lifestyle, into an alternative lifestyle because I have a low cut. I've had that, and yeah, people think all kinds of things. That's a problem. That's why God tells us not to be judgmental. When you're busy judging people, you're too this, you're too that. Listen, God designed me in a particular way. If you have a funny face, maybe you're designed to be a Robin Williams, you know? If you have a face really that could be kind of comical looking, it looks like, you can, you may not be meant to be Miss Universe or Mr. Universe. Maybe God wants you to be a Robin Williams and designed you as such. Maybe I don't know, and sometimes the things that we think are ugly, others somebody else will think is beautiful. Some people have issues with their molds. They don't like molds. I think molds and freckles make people very beautiful and unusually designed. I love to see molds and freckles on people. Some people feel, gosh, I'm too thick. I'm too, a lot of black men like thick women, right? Some people think, oh my gosh, I'm too thin. I'm too skinny. Some men like thin, skinny women. Some people think, gosh, my hair is too this or my this is too that. No, be contented. Thank God for who you are, what you have. Think of Cindy Crawford. Remember the model Cindy Crawford? You remember? She has a mole, a prominent mole on her lip. And I think when she got into modeling and she became a big thing, they wanted her to remove the mole and she refused. Guess what? That became her signature identifier. That became her signature unique identity marker, that mole. So, the things that we may think or other people may think make us whatever they think in their ignorance or their arrogance. You don't have to take that on. You don't have to take that on. God says when he created you, he said, it is good. She is perfect. He is a masterpiece. He is a masterpiece. So, if somebody who knows nothing about art comes appraising you and says that, you ain't no Picasso and you are no Monet, guess what? Who made the Mona Lisa again? It was Leonardo da Vinci. People go and pay thousands of dollars to go see the Mona Lisa in that museum, wherever it is. Guess what? Mona Lisa had to be the ugliest woman I ever see in my life. I'm telling you, it is. Anyway, maybe it's not about who she is or how she looks, it's who painted her and all of that. But I'm sorry, Mona Lisa to me is, I'm sorry, French people out there, forgive me. I know the Mona Lisa is a national treasure and all of that. Maybe she's originally Italian. I'm not too sure. Maybe she should be in an Italian museum. I'm not too sure. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But I'm sorry, Mona Lisa is not the most beautiful woman in the world. So you see how all of these things are relative? Anyway, let me end there before I really get myself in trouble here. But folks, whoever you are, whatever you look like, focus on the things you like, work on the things you don't like, the things you can't change, enjoy them, have fun with them, appreciate them. Know that there's somebody out there who's going to appreciate it because every bread have a cheese. As I said in a previous video, every chalk have a cheese. Every bread have a cheese. Everybody likes something different, right? Everybody likes something different. And, I'll tell you something about me, for example. I don't know if a lot of people think like this. I'll tell you. One of the things I find attractive physically in the opposite sex, or maybe even just people in general, something I will find attractive in the opposite sex or beautiful about women or whoever, male or about a female. I'm not talking attraction, of course, just admiration. Is when somebody has some unusual facial feature, like a scar or, I don't know, a slightly crooked tooth or a slightly crooked nose or one eye that's slightly closed down, or I like those things, like a little asymmetry or, I don't know, freckles, whatever it is. I have to admit, I do like clear eyes. I like eyes that look like gems. And black people out there would be like, how could you? You don't like your own race. No, I never said that. But I can appreciate what other races have as well. And yes, we have them in the black race, but they're more prominent in Caucasian, among Caucasians, you know. Don't mean I don't love my black people. I think black people are some of the most beautiful people in the world. I will always say that. I think my black brothers, I love their swag. I think they walk like kings. They look like kings. They could be the ugliest man on the planet and they would capture my attention because they're walking like a king. They're moving like a king. I think black people, men and women, are some of the most gorgeous people in the world. Right? That's just me. But then I can appreciate other people. I can appreciate people who are Asian, Hispanic, Caucasian, people who are of Native American communities and groups and nationalities. I can appreciate everybody, right? But I can't lie. I love my black people. I love my black people bad, bad, bad. I am always admiring black people. Always. Doesn't mean I don't admire other races, but I see particular beauty in my black people, which is why it's always so funny to me when people of other races, maybe because I have short hair, they can't wrap their mind around that, you know. But sometimes people from other races go out of their way to tell me, but in a comforting way, you know, you're really beautiful. You're really beautiful. And I'm thinking, please tell me something I don't know. I know I'm beautiful, but they're telling you as if they think you think you're not beautiful, you know, which I find kind of funny. But okay, that's another discussion for another day, right? But just know, even if other people think you ain't the best looking person on the planet, I promise you, there's somebody out there who's gonna think you're the most amazing treasure they ever found in every sense of that word. Physically, intellectually, emotionally. You are the perfect fit for somebody out there. And if there's nobody for you, that's okay. Celebrate yourself. Enjoy yourself. We just have one life to live. Don't waste it pulling yourself down. So that's it. I hope that you enjoyed. This is much longer than I meant it to be. I was really trying to aim for, like, would you believe, for these videos, I've been aiming for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I've been going well over. But I hope you've been enjoying them. And I thank you so much for, just sharing your comments, responding, telling me what you think. I'd love to hear your experiences. And, well, that's it. Until the next time.